Time for some business reports with me, Abigail Adumakoinchi. Now, the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, has blamed the instability in prices of petroleum products on the exchange rate differentials. ACEP's Director of Policy and Research, John Peter Amewu, told Joy News the pressures on the currency has rendered the subsidy element of the products ineffective and called for proper economic management to control the situation. Well, his comments comes on the back of the looming fuel shortage owing to the supply of petroleum products. The current challenges facing the country in terms of regular supply of petroleum products might persist for a while. That is according to some bulk importers of the petroleum products and some commercial banks. Government is currently said to owe the importers some $300 million in exchange losses and 400 million Ghana cedis in delayed subsidy payment. But energy policy analyst John Peter Amewu says the situation has been compounded by the rate of the cedi's depreciation.
The major element within this pricing formula has to do with the FOB price, which is the crude itself. Internationally, crude prices over the period have remained quite very stable. As I speak today, WTI is trading at about $102 per barrel. Brent is trading about $112, $107 per barrel. So differentials in terms of the crude itself over the period have remained quite stable. Okay, and so even if you want to trigger the automatic price adjustment, the price that you pay at the Bernard tip must also remain stable without any increment. But this is not happening. It's not happening because of the exchange rate differential. And the exchange rate differential is resulting because we are buying it in dollars and then we end up selling in cedis. By the time you finish selling in cedis, you want to get back your dollar, you need a lot more cedi to get the same amount of dollar which you use in bringing the crude back. So the question is, why should a poor farmer has to pay for somebody inefficiency in terms of mismanagement of the currency exchange differential? Because that has nothing to do with the crude price. Okay, and so we think that if this economy is managed prudently, without this exchange rate differential, of course, petroleum prices will remain quite stable over a long period of time.
He maintains the subsidy on petroleum products is almost insignificant.
As far as I am concerned, the subsidy element will be less than 0.2% of the price that we pay. Subsidy, the word subsidy itself differs from regimes to regimes. If you take petroleum products from Ghana, the price we are buying it in Ghana, and you send it to Togo, will people in Togo say there's subsidy on that price? Not at all, because Togo people are running into this country to take our petroleum product because there it's more expensive. So the price in terms of the margin on it is what is making government to think that yes, there's a subsidy, because government wants that revenue in terms of the tax they are putting on the product for development purposes. So as a country, do we have to say that the tax element are so much for them to be reduced?
Abigail Adumakoinchi for Joy News. In other news, the Upper East Regional Office of the Food and Drugs Authority has assured the public it will continue to clamp down on fake and expired goods on the market. The assurance was given by the Regional Officer of the FDA, Brahima Zakaria, after his outfit destroyed 50,000 Ghana cedis worth of expired products confiscated from the market.
We just want to caution the general public that they should at least spend some few seconds in looking at the labels of products so as to fish out if a product is expired or is unwholesome. Or if it is unwholesome, you see the can bloated, you see serious dents in these canned products. That tells you that the product is unwholesome. We also want to warn the retailers of these products that we are no longer going to collect these things and dispose them off for free. We are going to surcharge them whenever we get into a shop and we find a product unwholesome and it is on your shelves or is expired. It is their duty not to put these products on their shelves.
The expired items, including food and drugs, were seized by the Food and Drugs Authority over a period of 6 months from various parts of the Upper East region. The food and drugs were worth 20,000 Ghana cedis and 30,000 Ghana cedis respectively.
Government has placed a ban on impending international conferences in Ghana to prevent the spread of the Ebola disease in the country. This is part of efforts to protect the country against the deadly disease. Already there are some upcoming international business conferences in the country. One of them is the first Global Public Partnership Conference slated for next week. But Ghanaians should still look forward to this conference, as organizers say the conference would not be affected because some measures have been put in place. Well, we are all advised to take very good care of ourselves. Away from that, business and financial journalists are to be awarded for their outstanding stories by the International Federation of Economic Journalists, IFEJ Flamingo Awards for Business and Financial Journalism. The IFEJ Flamingo Awards is also to deepen the level of reportage on economic and finance in the country.
The IFEJ Flamingo Awards for Business and Financial Journalism comes with 10 categories, including ICT, finance, extractives, and agribusiness. Eligible applicants are, however, to be members of the International Federation of Economic Journalists, and entries can be from any of the media platforms. The award ceremony, to be an annual event, is to support the Ghana Journalism Awards and also help shape financial journalism in the country.
It's not just going to be an award for an award's sake. We're going to look at what the jury will say, bring out the flaws in the area of reporting. They will look at the content, the expression of words, how timely that article is, what impact can that article make. So these are the things that we'll be looking at. So at the end of the day, at the end of the workshop, you have new ideas so that you will not repeat the mistakes of yesterday, but you will improve on the content of your reportage. That is our ultimate. We want to use the award system to see how best we can factor that into improving the level of financial journalism. And we can do that only know exactly what people are doing. Our ultimate aim is that over a 5-year period, we should be able to develop a model for training financial journalists.
Lloyd Evans also called on training institutions to introduce business subjects in their journalism and communication curriculum.
The GIJ and LEGO should start introducing certain business subjects into their curriculum. For example, basically you can say that let's have a subject like banking, accounting, for the reporters to know income and expenditure, what is assets, what is return on assets, what is profit, what's the difference between profit and surplus, who uses surplus and who uses profit. These are little things, so that when you get an annual report of a company, you know exactly what you are looking at, you know exactly what you are seeing, you know exactly what you are writing.
Submissions for the IFEJ Flamingo Awards are, however, opened from now till September 12, and the ceremony is to be held in November this year. Meanwhile, winners of the IFEJ award scheme shall receive prizes including a fully financed trip to New York, South Africa and Germany for further training in finance and business journalism.
We'll end the business news on that note, but